Hello everybody, we are here with your GEB support guide. We're going to be starting off with our Sentinels GEB. We're going to look at their composition. They are rocking triple magical, a double physical, and they're going to have a little bit of sustain here, so we're going to need a pestilence. So I'm going to start by going into my sovereignty. I'm also going to give myself a chalice of healing with this start and a multi-pot. And then for my active, I am going to get that magic shell, as you traditionally do. GEB is a pretty slow to start support. Laning phase, not his strongest suit. But starts to thrive in the mid game and late game team fights. I do like GEB as a support right now. To be fair, everybody likes having GEB as their support on their team because everybody wants GEB shields. So we are going to be starting off with our 2. This is our knockup. This is also the ability that we are going to rank up first. It's going to provide a lot of wave clear, as also giving us some nice burst damage to help out our team in the early game team fight. A lot of people go right to ranking up the shield. I don't like that. I find that the early damage that you can provide from the 2 is way more efficient. Now we need to be careful here. They do have better lane clear than us for now, although AMC will give us some nice lane clear here in a little bit. I'm going to wait for this next wave before I use my 2. I want to make sure I can actually use my ability on the full wave. Try to hit some gods if I can. By hitting those gods, it'll pull the creeps off of the wave and onto me, and I can just kind of kite them around, which will help us in our lane clear department a little bit. Now, because we are against an Athena at level 2, I'm going to get my shield just in case we need it. But she has gotten her dash in her 3, so she actually does not have her taunt yet. Normally, I would get the 1 for some more wave clear. But now I've gotten the shield just to be safe. We didn't know what ability she had yet. And now if she dashes into my AMC, I can still give him the shield just so he doesn't take any extra damage here. In the laning phase, you can basically expect to get pushed on GEB. There's basically nobody that he out clears. That's really not his thing. So you're almost always going to be pushed near your tower, which is fine. There's really not a huge deficit right now to playing back near your tower in duo. There's a couple of camps you can miss out on. You miss out on that little middle camp, which honestly doesn't really affect the game at all. They're actually going to it right now. And then the only thing you don't want to get too far pushed back on is you don't want to accidentally get pushed so far that you miss out on your purple. If they're invading your purple, that's a problem. So you need to play up a little bit farther so that way they cannot invade that for free. Now, I don't want to stand too close to my AMC because I don't want us to both get taunted together. So I'm trying my best to keep a little bit of distance between us. It's not always going to work out, but I don't want to stand right next to him because I do want to make sure that if he gets taunted, I can shield him. If I get taunted at the same time, then I'm not going to be able to shield my AMC for that cleanse. So GEB shield is his most important ability. This is his 3rd ability, although we will be leveling it to max actually 3rd. Our level order on GEB is 4, 2, 3, 1. Leveling up your ultimate increases the stun duration as well as the percent of the target's current health that it's going to give you. So that's a really strong ability to rank up. Our 2 just for the burst damage, then our 3, and finally our 1. All our 1 is going to do is give us a little bit more damage on our 1, but our 2 is going to be way more efficient. We also get the increased slow and stuff, but typically we're going to be using this as a initiation or a getaway skill. So leveling up last is just kind of the way it goes. All of GEB's abilities are really, really strong. So I've backed a little bit early this game because I want to start rotating over towards mid. I want to help out my Scylla. That's a really good Scylla ult right there. It's going to allow Fenrir to actually grab a quick kill. Also a good grab right there from the fence. We can knock up the Quang right after. So right there, I waited on using my knockup until the Quang was coming out of Fenrir's mouth. You can actually see that our Scylla immediately threw down the root for damage. And because of that, the CC does not proc while it's in Fenrir's mouth. If our Scylla would have actually waited there. Unfortunate. Our Fenrir is going to die. That was actually an interesting scenario. I thought that the Quang was going to go for the ultimate on the Fenrir right there. And so I was holding my shield for the cleanse. What I should have done is I should have shelled him right off the bat to reduce his damage. That way I can keep my shield. So the reason why I didn't shield right there immediately is because I thought the Quang was going to ult. Now GEB's shield, not only is it a actual shield that's going to reduce damage on you, it is also a cleanse. This means that if you have an ally that is stunned, that is mez, that is rooted, whatever, you can shield them and it will take them out of that CC. Now that also works on Quang ultimate. So Quang ultimate has basically two features to it, which is one, a grab, and then two, the actual execute. So if Quang grabs your teammate and you shield them right as he grabs, it cancels out of it, takes the cooldown, and he never actually makes it to the execution part of that ability. So you can't like stop a Thanatos execute because it's just an execute. There's no beforehand. But with the Quang, you can actually stop that, which is nice. Fun little fact, you can also actually stop Quang ult with Kepriel as well, because Kepriel also cleanses, so you can use it in the same way. Just a fun little tidbit, because executes actually go through Kepriel, but if you use Kepriel second, you can actually cancel out of the Quang ult. Athena's about to go in on my Scylla right here. Oh my goodness, I have to shield him right away because he's taking so much damage. I'm gonna try to get in front of this and body block it, so I tank it right to the dome. I'm gonna knock him up, and now Fenrir is gonna be able to get it. Now Quang does not have his ultimate up, and I know that because I just saw him over in the air in solo, and so we're gonna be able to make that a 2-for-0 trade. Athena's dashed in, she missed. I'm gonna ulti him, keep him in the tower, knock him up, follow up in that CC, and then try to body block him as best we can. We're gonna make it a 3-for-0 trade. That was fantastic for us. That little fight brings us to our standard combination on GEB, which is we want to ulti the target, and then we don't want to knock up immediately if we know that they don't have any CC immunity. So if they have CC immunity, if we know that they have beads, if we know that they're going to be able to get cleansed, whatever, but then we'd immediately follow up with our 2. But if they have no way of becoming CC immune, like the Athena right there, we actually want to wait just a second. Our stun is 1.6 seconds on our ultimate. So if we ulti and then immediately 2, we're actually just gonna get the knockup CC. We're not gonna really get the stun plus knockup. We're only gonna get like half a second of utilization out of it. So in order to maximize how much CC we can get out of our abilities, we want to ulti, chill out for just a moment, literally like a second, and then follow up with the knockup. So that way we're getting the knockup duration and the ultimate stun duration combined. So we can get somebody CC'd for closer to like 2+ seconds instead of just like the actual knockup duration. So on GEB, I'm actually not going to save my point at level 8 like I do on a lot of characters. I'm going to simply put that point into the shield. The shield is just so strong. It's one of those abilities you can just put a point into and not feel bad about. Now my Scylla cannot come back in the mid like this. I roll out for him just in case, but that was very risky pathing right there. So I'm fine right now. They don't really want to poke me because they want to go for the Scylla really bad. I just need to make sure that I'm keeping my eye on Scylla so that the second Athena goes and lands the taunt, that I use my shield. Now, Athena is actually a great matchup here. Oh, I see Quang coming in the back line, so I'm gonna try to get back here and help out. Ooh, he gets the dash off though. So the Athena GEB matchup is in favor of GEB because I can cancel people out of her taunt. This is actually a good matchup for the GEB. But the one thing you need to be careful about, and I see a lot of GEBs do this, even at higher levels, because you panic and it's going to happen from time to time. But you don't typically, unless your target that you're going on to shield is literally going to die without an immediate shield, you want to wait until after she taunts. So if he dashes in at my Scylla, right? I know he's gonna taunt my Scylla. I don't want to shield before she even taunts, because then my Scylla is gonna be stuck in the full taunt duration, maybe has to beads, whatever. I want to wait for her to taunt and have my trigger finger at the ready and then absolutely smash down on that shield the instantaneous moment that she taunts, so that way I cleanse him from the CC. Now I'm gonna ulti the Athena here, I'm gonna wait just a moment, then I'm gonna knock up and hit him with my 1 for the slow. So right there we combine all of our CC. Because I wait just a moment going from the ultimate to the knockup, it gives my Scylla enough time for her crush to come back up so we can kill the Athena before she gets her dash off. That's why that little bit of time is important.
An enemy has been slain.
Maximize your CC duration. All right, now we're going to get out a couple of wards here. I'm going to stick around for that hashtag one more wave, and then I need to back up and get my sovereignty, and I'm going to start working immediately into a pestilence. We need the anti-heal for the Baron. We need the anti-heal for the Ao Kuang. And anti-heal simply in general is good. So now that we've gotten all of our points in our 2, we're ranking up our 3 and our ulti, and then finally ranking up the 1. We're going to grab the Sov right here. I'm going to rank up the Shell a little bit early this game. You don't have to rank it up this early in all of your matches, but in this particular game, I am against a Ao Kuang. Ao Kuang is going to have a lot of very quick burst auto attack damage, and so 2 block stacks could very well make the difference and keep somebody on my team alive. For our matchups in GEB in the laning phase, there is no such thing as a good matchup in the laning phase for GEB, because his clear is so atrocious. It is a little bit better than he used to be because of that small buff they did to his 2, where it's now actually 70% damage at max range compared to 50%. So his clear has gotten slightly better over the years, but as far as the general laning phase goes, you're gonna struggle. That's okay, that's not what you're meant to do. So watch out for anybody though with super ultra high clear. GEB can be hard to play into the very aggressive high clear supports. Funny enough, Khepri actually does fall into that category because Khepri 2 is really good clear. He probably has the best clear out of like the traditionally defensive support. But also watch out for the other guys like a Hercules coming aggressive at your team. Watch out for anything, an RDO, a Ymir, something that's just gonna really clear very fast. Now, against those characters, it's gonna be okay because we're going to transition pretty strongly into the mid game against a lot of those characters. So we like to pick GEB in the teams that have a lot of CC. In this particular game, Athena is great for us because we can consistently stop her taunt, which is a really important ability. If Athena is not getting these big taunts off on targets, then she's not nearly as hard to deal with. So I'm gonna try to get over towards my Fenrir. I'm gonna shield immediately, and I'm gonna run into this Baron suck. Right there, there wasn't going to be any more CC coming out of my Fenrir. He had already been hit by CC, and so I give him the shield just to reduce the damage that he's taking, not actually caring about the Athena. Athena was too far away. She was never going to get the taunt on. Now I'm going to run right in towards this Baron, follow up on this freeze with a little knock up. We're not going to be able to get that kill onto the Baron, but that's right. I'm once again going to throw out another defensive shield for my team. I'm also going to throw out a shell right here. Arthur in the back line is on my Scylla, so I'm just going to chase and peel, try to body block this man. Perfect body block with me and Fenrir. Hopefully is going to let the Scylla get out of this one alive, but they've got so many people here. We do save our Scylla, but at what cost, eh? They've got everybody else rotating over as well, and that is a big play for that team. Now we can continue working on our Pestilence, and for our second active, I am going to get my Blink. Blink on GEB is crucial. Without Blink, he has a really hard time initiating. You can use the one if you do not go Blink for the initiation. but it's a pretty apparent, like, you know, wee right into the enemy team. So they'll know that you're coming, but the blink into GEB ulti knockup can make a really big difference, both for initiation and for peeling in the mid and late stages of the game. So our job on GEB is going to be to blink in these fights, hit as many people with my ultimate as I can, force as many beads as I can, and then quickly get back to my team. So I'm gonna look for blink ulti knockups, and then I'm gonna try to get back to my team and use my shield and my slow on my one, and whenever my cooldowns come back up, just to keep them alive. Now we can probably gank middle right here. I'm gonna look for a blink ult. Gonna go in, blink on the Baron, knock them both up. We're gonna grab a quick kill right there on the Baron. Got a nice follow-up onto the Athena. I'm gonna use my one to chase him. I'm actually gonna chase him a different way than my Scylla goes, and I'm gonna cancel my one right before I reach this Athena. On GEB, your one, when you're in the non-CC immune form, is going to hit a target and it is going to slow them. That is fantastic. Once you become CC immune, this becomes an absolute yeet of a knockback. Now that yeet of a knockback can be cool for getting people out of position, but 98% of the time, when you see a GEB use this ability, he is absolutely smashing somebody on the enemy team to safety. So what you want to do a lot of the time on GEB is simply right click, cancel this ability right when you get close to somebody on the enemy team, and do not accidentally knock them into oblivion away from your team into safety. You're much better off using that one just to get back up close to a target so you can follow up with your knockbacks and all that good stuff. You don't have to always hit them with this ability. If you're gonna try to hit them with this ability, I recommend doing it in this non-CC form, because then you're just gonna put a nice thick slow on them for your team, which is great. But you don't want to knock them 20,000 yards down the football field, you know. It's great that you got a field goal, but your team wanted a touchdown, you know what I'm saying? All right, now we're going to back it up right here. We're going to get ourselves a Pestilence. And I'm going to go this game. They've got a lot of good attack speed characters, so I'm going to go into a Witchblade to help out my team. Witchblade, one of the best support items in the game right now. This is going to lower their attack speed by 25%, which is going to help us a lot against this Apollo and this Ao Kuang, who also are their highest levels, so they're the ones we need to be most concerned about carrying. It's also going to give me some nice CDR, bringing me up to 20% CDR. GEB really likes to have high CDR to help get that shield up for his team. Now I'm going to use my knockup right here to actually knock up the Arthur away from my Scylla. I'm going to run into this Baron suck as quick as I can. Unfortunately, Fenrir does get hit by it. My Scylla should be able to live in the backline. So that's the type of situation that you actually want to use. That GEB knockup in. Really good wall there by Ymir. I'm going to hit him with a quick shield. Doesn't take too much damage. We hit him with a knockup combo. So I use my one right there to knock up the Arthur away from my Scylla because I needed to defend her. This was not an opportunity where we were going to get a kill. It was she was going to get killed. So that way I can use the knockup and send him into Kingdom Come. That's a good time when you should be using it. Much better as a peeling ability. Now you can try to get around people and knock them into your team and kind of almost use it as a pull by bringing people out of position, but that situation is a lot rarer. It also can put you out of position, and you got to be a little bit careful about that as well. I'm gonna put out a nice sentry here at top right. And continue just to look for some more farm. I've got a nice 3-4 level lead right now over the opposing support. As soon as I can finish my Witchblade, I'll back up and I'll wait until I have enough money for a Witchblade and a Sentry Ward. So I need about 120 more gold that I can get that
Ward the fire giant.
that Sentry Ward with my Witchblade. Now at this point we can just kind of chill out, wait around corners. We're just looking for pickoffs at this stage of the game. We're not doing anything too nutty. No real opportunities for us to go do an objective. Maybe we could look toward the Pyromancer, but right now it's just a lot of kind of AFKing and waiting. Now, I did see an Apollo pretty deep in left, so I'm just going to go check this way. I'm going to throw down an ultimate on top of him. Wait a moment. Then hit him with the knockup. And Scylla's going to be able to follow up beautifully with a ultimate. Once again, I ulti him. I know that I am going to have 1.8 seconds of stun. So I chill out. I don't immediately freak out and pop my 2 for the knockup. I wait. Then I hit him with my knockup, maximize that CC time. All of a sudden, bada bing, bada boom, my Scylla makes it over. We get the ulti off. Easy kill. I do really need to back for this Witchblade Sentry Ward combo, but I also want to make sure that I'm not missing out on any farm. And at this point, I am now level 17, so I can actually finish my Sentinel's Gift, which is going to do more for my team than the Witchblade. See, what's it called? Sentinel's Embrace? What did I call it? Gift? Wait. Yeah, there you go. Sentinel's Embrace. There we go. All right, we're going to get that going, grab my Sentry Ward, and continue to work on my Witchblade. So getting levels as a support is really important this season because Sentinel's Embrace gives out a lot of flipping protections. If you can give those protections out earlier to your team, earlier is obviously better. Earlier means less penetration the enemy team has. Earlier means less general power items that they have, which means those protections are just that much more effective for your team. Now this Arthur is kind of deep on our boys. I don't want to use my ultimate right now on him. I'm going to use my ultimate for the peel here on Scylla. I'm going to shell my Scylla. I'm keeping my eyes on my 3. I got to throw down my 3 onto my Fenrir. He is crazy going in on this. Going to try to knock him up and body block as much as I can to keep my boys alive. Got Ymir way in the back, so I'm following up onto the Arthur. Going to be able to grab that kill. Baron beats and Aegis out. I'm going to blink in front of him. Great Ymir wall right there, actually. Going to keep him knocked up. Hit him with my 1 for the slow. Trying to body block him as best as I can. Put a little shield onto the Fen, who came back in very greedy, but he knew that I'd be there for him. And now that's a big play. And this can actually lead to a big fire giant. If we can get our Scylla over here, Apollo is split pushing in left. There's Justin, Athena. We can start this up, and we can get ourselves a nice fire giant opportunity. Now the Apollo can ulti in, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my shield up for whoever he's going to go for. You can see that he is on his way. I know that he's going to land on one of my carries. I don't know if that's going to be the Fenrir or the AMC, who exactly it's going to be. It looks like it's going to be the Fenrir, so I'm throwing down my shield on him, and now I'm trying to body block for my AMC. We turn on him, immediately grab the kill. My Fenrir will die, even though he grabbed the shield, but this is still going to be a fantastic trade for us. 4 people with Fire Giant at the 22 minute marker. That's going to lead to some really good upcoming team fights. Now I need to back up, finish up my Witchblade, and then we need to group up as a team and start shoving mid. Now I want to back really badly right now, but I see that there's an Outquang coming towards my Scylla mid. So I'm trying to get over here ASAP to get in range of him. He's actually going to turn around on me. That is okay. I'll use my ultimate right there, just peel for myself. I'd much rather have that Outquang go for me than my Scylla. Witchblade is online, and now I'm going to start working on a Pridvin here at the end of the game. I'm actually going to wait for this 20 gold for the Sentry Ward. Better to have the vision. Don't mind waiting a couple extra seconds. Pridvin is going to bring me up to 40% CDR with my boot and Witchblade. It's also going to give me that gnarly shield after my Gebel, and it's going to let me have my shields up all the time. The more shields you have as Geb, the more annoying. You also kind of want to make sure on Geb that you're keeping up with the CDR, excuse me, of the enemy who is providing the most CC to your team. So in this case, the Athena is really the one that I'm scared of, that Athena taunt. So I want to make sure that I've got more CDR than her, so I can make sure that I'm throwing out my shields just as often as she can taunt. If she gets too much more CDR on me and she can taunt faster than I can shield, then I'm in a hard spot. Gonna knock up as soon as that Athena ulti comes through so that the Scylla can hit both of them with her ulti. He very smartly waits until I knock up. He was also waiting for the Athena ulti to come through, so we grab ourselves a 2-for-1 trade deal. I could have knocked up the Quang earlier for the Scylla, but then we wouldn't have hit both of them. We wait for the Athena to land, and then we grab that double combination right there. Now, I am super tanky. I've got CC immunity with my ultimate, so Quang doesn't freak me out. They've got 3 dead right now. We should immediately go for this Phoenix and try to get this Phoenix while they've got 3 people dead. I'm actually going to shield myself early right now, just so I can tank a little bit more damage and hopefully get that shield back up by the time anybody gets here. Now we retreat and we head right over to middle lane and we grab the rest of these T2s. Gonna continually shield myself just so I don't take too much damage from these towers. We've got creeps over in right lane. So instead of shoving up through mid for the Phoenix, we can actually shove up through right for the Phoenix because we've got some creeps here to actually help us out and give us those backdoor protections. Already grabbed the left Phoenix, which is the most important one to begin with. So now between shoving mid and right, doesn't really matter that much. I'm gonna push myself very aggressively right here. We got a good wall off from our Ymir. See if I can't force a little bit of beads or something on one of these boards. There's the Ao Quang beads down. Once again, gonna throw down an early shield on myself just so I can continue tanking this tower. Shielding myself defensively is more important than shielding my team right now. I do have to reset it, so I'm gonna start rolling back in towards my boys. Knocking up the Baron for the team. Once again, I am tanking this Phoenix. That is okay. I'm just gonna keep throwing down this shield onto myself. As long as I'm tanking this Phoenix, my team should mostly be okay. I see that Apollo has beads, so I'm gonna roll out back towards him, cancel it, and then try to body block the Arthur as best I can. And now we're gonna be able to put this game away. So right there, I use my shields kind of selfishly, but the selfish was to help out the team. The Phoenix was going to be doing a lot of damage, so somebody needed to be in there tanking it for them. So I sit there, I tank the Phoenix for them, I use my shields consistently for that, so that way nobody's taking any damage from the Phoenix. Otherwise, I would have had to reset it earlier. If I reset it earlier, now they're taking the damage from the Phoenix, and I still had other things like shells in order to keep my team alive if I needed them to, guys. Of course, my last item right there would have been the Pridvin. Provide us with that 40% CDR. Give me that little extra shield and the extra slow. The extra slow can be really nice on GEB as well. You roll out into somebody after your ultimate. That slows them. By the time that slow just about finishes, the Pridvin procs, which slows them again. Now you got even more CC on top of your CC, which can be a very nice combination, guys. And that is our GEB support guide.